Hey everyone, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill, but I am just getting back from vacation, so it's a little bit more emphasized on the chill in a little bit of true crime talk. So welcome for those who are watching but not in the chat. Thank you for joining. And for those who are here in the chat, welcome. Let's see. Tony Stewart, I saw your comment and I gave you a very playful 5-minute timeout. James Watson, hello. Kane, is this a new account? Because I don't have you having a wrench under this. So let me know and I will wrench you up. Or if this is a different Kane. Capone, welcome. So we will get to Capone in a minute. Beckham. Hi, Beckham. K-Dog, welcome. Too long of a vacation. It was long. I have not been on that long of a vacation in probably 12 to 15 years. Yeah, I typically am like a long weekend type of vacation person, and that's that. I typically don't need much more time than that. For those who have vacationed with me, Beckham has, Paulcast has, we went to LA. Like, I'm very go, go, go. I'm very like, let's keep it moving, do what we got to do. So yeah, to kind of have a long stretch of time, it's a little, it was interesting. It was interesting. Chat. I know, Tony. Do not apologize. I just wanted to give you a hard time. Okay, give me my damn wrench. Okay, Kane. I see you. I see you. Karen Diamond, hello. I'm sure your cats miss you. Oh my God. I missed that. I miss them so much. You have no idea. So I'm actually wearing one of the shirts I got on vacation. Y'all know I'm a t-shirt lover. I have so many t-shirts. I love big baggy t-shirts and I get them everywhere I go. I'll get like 2 to 3. I think I bought like 15 t-shirts on this trip because there were multiple places we went. Yeah, I spent way too much on t-shirts, but that's okay. That's okay. So this one is Sedona and it has a bit of a skull on it. I just thought it was very hippie and very, very cool. So that's what I'm wearing for tonight. Let me give Kane the wrench now because I'm going to get distracted and not do it. So Kane, you got your wrench. Okay, all set. Awesome. I know, shocking. Yes, and then it's Friday nights. The cats are in the room. What's the word I'm looking for? It's honestly, you guys don't even know how much behind on sleep I am. Next Friday will be a live from a special location. Stay tuned. You will want to be there. You will not want to miss it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So mark your calendars. You'll know. I'll publish more a little bit before, but I'm telling you right now, stay tuned. And I'm very excited to be live from there. Danny, don't forget what Sunday is. Beckham, what is Sunday? Like, I barely know what today is. So I will, boo, Capone, boo. So next week I will do a live that will just kind of focus on the vacation and give an update. It was a mix of Sedona, Arizona, Grand Canyon, and then Vegas for the third part. In Vegas, I was very fortunate to hang out and spend time with, all right, let's bring you up, Capone. So I got to meet Capone in person, which was amazing. Like, so much fun. Capone, you were awesome. Absolutely awesome. And we went to the Mob Museum in Vegas. I will probably focus most of the, I'll be honest, I will focus most on the episode on that. We were there for quite a while. I think a little under 2.5 hours or something like that. And it could have been longer. There was so much to take in, so much to take in. I took so many pictures. Yeah, I think that was like the one stop where I spent like so much money, like in the gift shop. I'm like, I need this, I need that, I need that. Oh my God. But yeah, I'll kind of do a recap next week. I know if you guys follow the Paulcast over for Mason Saga discussion panel, when Beckham went to Vegas, this was years ago. We did a episode where he talked about his experience at the Mob Museum and showed some pictures. So I talked to Beckham a little bit about that trip. I even have not had time to even post those pictures. And Beckham was, we're kind of comparing what was there when he went versus when I went. So I'm looking forward to kind of talking about that. And for those who didn't catch that episode, then this will kind of be new for you. But yeah, if that's what you're kind of wanting to hear for next week's episode, tune in. That will be earlier in the week next week, and then next Friday will be the True Crime and Chill from a secret live location. Other than that, that's kind of all I got. Yeah, it's a weird sort of week because of travel. Left Vegas on Tuesday, was supposed to land like late Tuesday night back here in Boston, and then the flight got delayed. For anybody who's traveled in and out of Logan Airport in Boston, if you know, you know. Is it the most organized? No. There are worse airports, I get it. But when it comes to baggage claim, they are notorious for like delays. It was horrible. So like waiting, I think it was like an hour and a half for luggage. It was horrible. So I got home and I didn't take the next day off work. So Wednesday, because I was just like, oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, no, your girl got like 2.5 hours of sleep and went to work. And like, I was like, what am I doing? I'm functioning right now on Dunkin' Donuts coffee and just trying to catch it. So like my mind is just like very still thrown off with like all of that. But yeah, other than that, glad it's the weekend so I can take the time for my body to like readjust back. But it would, vacation is vacation. When people say you need a vacation after the vacation, it's so true. Just to get my bearings back. Hey, Russell, good to see you. Tony L. I'm so glad you didn't get too close. Tony. Oh, yeah, I'm like, not like the biggest person that's scared of heights, but yeah, no, I like would look and like, no, I'm good, absolutely good. Is Paulcast or Liz coming on? No, Beckham, you're more than welcome to come up if you want. If not, you can hang out in the chat and give me a hard time as you typically do. Feel free. Yeah, no, I was not taking any chances. And it was interesting because so like you can do Jeep tours at the Grand Canyon. So of course, me being me, shocking, I'm like, hey, Jeep driver, what are the statistics about people going over the edge, whether it is intentional, accidental, like breaking it down? And of course he's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, seriously. So we had a full conversation. There was a book that I got about deaths at the Grand Canyon because yeah, I was just, I wanted to know. I'll show that next week. Haven't read it yet. It's a rather large book, but yeah, I'll get more into that next week. But like It was typical Danny. Typical Danny. I also did a little, for anybody that missed it, I posted a little small video. Of course, I brought one of my Danny After Dark shirts on a trip. Why not? And did a little bit of a short video live from the Grand Canyon. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Pictures don't give it justice. Videos don't do it justice. Nothing gives it justice except for just being there. Yeah. But other than that, time to eavesdrop on Danny's communications. They're going to be boring. Like, your girl is all about books and cats and true crime. But I think you knew that. So it is what it is. James Watson. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Hey, Shelly, good to see you. Speak of the devil, Paulcast. Do you think the body showing up in Massachusetts are to... Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh. So apparently there's a serial killer on the loose in New England. And depending on what news source you listen to, for the most part, law enforcement are denying that there's a serial killer. They're kind of saying, like, content creators and internet sleuths are saying it's a serial killer, but it's not. Am I saying it's a serial killer? I don't know. It has not been confirmed. What I will say is, based on the information that has been put out there, that there are some consistencies in regards to victims. And that's pretty, I think it says pretty telling. I think that says a lot. The locations are, you might hear like, oh, well, that's like 3 or 4 state it covers. Again, think of this area of the country. We are not a state as big as California or Texas, for example. So Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, like all those, we're very small states. I can drive from one part of Massachusetts all across to the other, few hours. Speeding, probably a couple hours. But I could go then further through another state, probably another 3 hours or so, excluding rush hour, of course. So is it possible that like all these are linked? It wouldn't surprise me. Again, this was something that there were a few. Okay, rewind. I love how, even though like I was on vacation, y'all and my friends kept me posted on everything. There were some of you that were, oh my God, I love it. Absolutely love it. Like, Danny, did you hear about this in Lori Bello? Danny, did you hear this about Karen Reed? Like, y'all were like into it, messaging me. And I love that. Obviously my friends, or, some of you subscribers who are more on the New England end were messaging about this. Did you hear this is a serial killer? What are your thoughts, and so on. So yeah, I got all that information, even though I was away. And it's, statistically speaking, when do law enforcement come out and say, yes, there's a serial killer? It's never right away. A lot of times it's very apparent to the community. And after a while, they kind of have no choice. Are there times where sometimes that there is a killing or a group of killings that are happening that the public is saying this has to be the work of a serial killer, and then it turns out it's not? Yes, that happens as well. So we will see. I'm not one to jump on and make the claim, yes, there's a serial killer, or no, there is not. We need to see more. But however, if you look at victim location, victim type, the kind of information that is being released about when they were or looked to be murdered, how they were murdered, there's similarities that I think can't be overlooked just yet. So it's scary, though. The fact that it's a possibility. And the thing is, it's always a possibility, not just here in New England. Everywhere you go, no one is immune from this. You always hear the saying, that type of stuff happens in New York, or that type of stuff happens in LA. It never happens in my neighborhood, or it never happens here. It's easy to say that until it happens there. So nowhere is immune. If true crime has not taught anybody anything, it can happen anywhere. So yeah, it's a bit scary. Hi Richard, good to see you. Well, have a good dinner with the family, Paul. The governor of Massachusetts is going to mandate the alliance. Oh, Jesus, Beckham. Oh, do you guys have Arby's in Canada? Arby's is sorry for those that love it. Oh my God, I think it's so gross. Like so gross. I think I've had it once in college or something like that. And I was like, what the hell is this? I guess I didn't realize you guys had that chain. That's awesome. Yes. Oh my gosh. Hi to Bunga as always, Paul. Mini Paulcast, Mrs. Paulcast. I mean, they are, all of them are amazing. But yeah, I'm a pet person. Bunga. And then I say mini Paulcast because yeah, he gives you a hard time and I can't get enough of it. So, but the whole Paulcast crew. James, I cannot confirm or deny. I cannot confirm or deny. I agree, Tony Stewart. I saw that news bulletin. LVH. Hey, Wolf, good to see you. Don't go walking alone. Yeah, I've never tried Arby's. Don't. I'm telling you, if you're like, you know what? I don't believe a word Danny ever says about anything. Believe me on this. Don't do it. Don't try it. Like, don't waste your money or waste a meal on that. It's so disgusting. From what I remember from having it back in college, so disgusting. Arby's used to be good many years ago. I haven't had it in forever. Yeah, see, same. All right. So I'll let you guys know location next Friday. Tune in for that. So one of the things that I did make sure to keep up to date with is, of course, the Karen retrial. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But before I do that, I just want to give a plug and shout out to fellow YouTuber and friend Auntie Deb. So if you're familiar with this channel, then you've already seen Auntie Deb on here a few times. He's been doing interviews lately, which are really, really cool. But before that, last year when the trial first started, he went viral, dressing up as some of the people that were on the stand in the first trial and kind of giving it a bit of a comedic spin. And then in between, kind of doing some lives. Well, now the trial's back. And he is not only covering it every day in regards to kind of watching it live, giving his commentary, and then doing recap shows after every day, which, oh my God, good for him. I love that. I'm just so behind on YouTube videos from other creators. It's like all in my watch later. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much I need to catch up on. But he's been doing interviews as well in regards to people who are either covering this case or close to this case. So please go out and give Auntie Deb a sub. Check out his content because, again, now that the trial is back, the retrial, his channel is pretty much talking about that case. And I'm a big fan, love Auntie Deb. So give his channel a sub and check out his content. Let's see. There was a question, Danny After Dark. Is there still Barston Market? There used to be. I don't think I've seen one in years though, but they used to be everywhere. I don't know if they're 100% closed or not. I have not seen any near me in years, so I don't know. They had good mac and cheese. I mean, who messes up mac and cheese? It is still in business. Go figure. Oh, interesting. I love how you knew that, Capone. Yes, Auntie Deb is a he. Y'all, yeah, he's been on the channel before, dressed up as Judge Bev from the Karen Reed trial. Yes. Go back. I interviewed him last year. Go back, check out that interview. It was with him and just as him kind of talking about his channel, Jimmy. And then he got dressed up in the episode as Jennifer McCabe and then Judge Bev. So this is a significant decline when it peaks at over 12 locations. That is very true. Very true. Like Beckham or like Paulcast? Maybe, I don't know. We don't judge, Russell. We don't judge. If you strictly went to Boston Market and only ordered mac and cheese, we don't judge. Not at all. Speaking of like all that type of thing. All right. This is Kane. I know you will appreciate this, Kane. So one of the things that is always in my Instagram feed. Okay. For those of you who like, I'm a coffee girl. And there's a chain that is nowhere here on New England, but it was on the way from Arizona to Vegas. So I was like, I have to stop and try this coffee chain because it's always in my Instagram feed. Dutch Brothers. Has anybody had Dutch Brothers coffee? It was so good. It was so good. The line was so long and I was like, either this is a sign that it's bad and it's not worth my time, or this is a sign that it's so good that it's worth waiting for. It was so good. So good. So yeah, that was, again, are people like Danny, that was really one of the exciting moments of your trip. Hell yeah, it was one of the most exciting moments of my trip. Y'all know. Speaking of non-exciting things. Hi.
Hey, what's up? Hello. Well, hello.
22 minutes and 43 seconds
Wait,
in.
I didn't know. I didn't know this was gonna be a chill. I thought it was gonna be your little show.
Did you not read the title? Chill with a little bit of true crime.
And you didn't send out a thing, the paperwork.
Because I don't have a lot to talk about.
There's a lot going on. I don't know where you don't know what you're talking about. There's not a lot to talk about.
I have a few notes. Beckham. All right.
Wait a minute. Nobody got my joke. You didn't even laugh at my joke.
Because your jokes are not worth laughing at.
Really? I thought that was a pretty good one.
Look at that. Whoop, whoop, Beckham. Well, if I'm debating to put you on timeout for that comment.
Thank you.
Dutch Brothers is good. We have them in Vegas. They hardly ever. I didn't see any in Vegas. I saw it in Arizona. I had to do it in Arizona on the way.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We're going to talk about coffee. Yeah, I honestly was like, I should have taken a picture of it before I started drinking it because it was like a work of art. It was so good.
Danny, I really can't believe you didn't laugh at my joke.
What was the joke? I don't even know.
About the serial killer in your own state and how the governor is going to mandate that the state, state police, their top-notch detectives are going to work with local law enforcement agencies, which means city on this case.
Well, I know.
Come on, dude. That was fun.
Karen Diamond says, hello, Mr. Beckham. Nice to see you.
Well, hello, Karen.
Sometimes you got to decompress a little bit. Yeah, no, Beckham, if you don't know, our state right now is, especially law enforcement, state police, are very, very wrapped up with the retrial of, you might have heard of her, Karen Reed. However, going on what you said, I can think of one former state trooper who might have the time to look into the serial killer.
Wait, off the books or on the books?
I don't think he'll ever be paid on the books again. if he wants to do something good and get back on track, maybe he can do it off the books, and you know what I mean? Oh God. So Beckham, have you been watching or listening to what's happening with the Karen retrial?
I think there needs to be. I just think the case needs to be stopped, dismissed, and there needs to be arrests made.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I don't know what else you need.
Fair.
I mean, that what's her name today or in the last few days?
Jen McCabe.
Dude, her whole story's falling apart, and it's just all over the place. Like, if police have not even taken it into questioning and like launching an investigation, because she's apparently lied to the FBI now. She's crossed her own statements.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was the FBI agent interviewing her at the time, and later said, "Hey, wait a minute, that's not what you told me. Let me go back, on my report, and let me go back to my notes and everything." I would take that personally. I would be pissed off that you lied to me.
Well,
you know what and I would do everything I could to contact whoever I wanted to the district attorney's office and personally make a personal visit and say, "This is what she said. This is what she now said." And then there you go. What do you call it?
Perjury.
Perjury, right.
But
and then the dominoes would start falling, dude.
They already are.
Well, I mean, like, people would start protecting each, whatever, and then it would just start to unravel.
Well, okay, we're going to talk about Jen McCabe. I will say, Kerry Roberts, when she took the stand the other day, she has always maintained that in regards to like because Jen and Kerry met to write out a timeline. And then today she was like, or was it yesterday? My sister wrote out the timeline. Is your sister here? Yeah, that's her. That's her name. She's totally doxed out her sister, which was funny.
Right.
But on the stand this week, Kerry Roberts said she never heard Karen say about the how long to die in the cold search. Karen asking Jen to do it. However, all of her previous, statements to police, being on the stand before, she said, "Yes, I was there and I heard it." Now this trial, she's saying, "No, I didn't hear that." That's a big push against Jen McCabe.
They should take her in officially take her in and for questioning, dude.
I think she's gonna be the easy. I hate to say the easiest one to crack, but
I don't care. Throw the kids at her. Say, "Look, you're gonna go away. Your kids are gonna, and she'll crack."
I agree with Beckham. This trial is a joke. It's horrific. It's horrific. We haven't even got to
Proctor. We haven't got to. Yeah, we haven't got to.
Hockey, Proctor, Brian Albert, Matt McCabe. We haven't even gotten to them. It's crazy. Hey Zach, good to see you.
What's up, guys?
So
I'm sorry. I know that you were talking about your trip and stuff. I didn't want to.
Yeah, no. I'll do an episode next week about kind of like officially about it and especially about the Mom Museum. Actually, let me put the camera a little bit lower just to show off the shirt. Love it.
Wait, where did you get that? Whoa, in Arizona. Sedona. Did you cross paths with Billy the Kid?
I have no.
Or anybody of the West, of the.
No, I did go to Arizona on the way to the Grand Canyon, and there was what was it? One of the animals there that was called Billy the Kid. It was funny, but yeah, that was it. Anyway, so thank you, Tony. So Jen's approach this time, as opposed to last trial, she's definitely a bit more, besides today when she got all riled up, a bit more on the softer side. I will say that, very apologetic. to Alan Jackson over and over. And he called her on that today. He's like, why do you keep apologizing? Did someone coach you? Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. My apologies. I'm sorry. My apologies. Like, come on. She, like Beckham, like you said, in regards to, there were things that she testified to with law enforcement all this time leading up to today. Last trial. And now today she's, I didn't mean that. I didn't say that. Or it wasn't a lie. I forgot to say that part. And threw everybody under the bus in regards to, I told every law enforcement person, she said this. Not a single one wrote that in a report. So again, she's throwing everybody else under the bus. Everyone else is wrong but her. Even last trial, when Alan Jackson had a copy of what she said. Oh, and can we talk about how he had to show her everything because she doesn't remember anything she said? And she's reading it and she's like, that was wrong. Basically throwing Madam Court Reporter from last trial under the bus. Like, okay, so now Madam Court Reporter, whose job is to type word for word what every person said and has to sign off and verify that is true. So they're wrong too. Everybody's wrong but you, Jen McKee. All right. Even like when Alan Jackson was showing her all the phone calls and the phone records, and she's like, I don't know.
She was like, yeah, oh my God. Her I don't know's got tiring.
Mm-hmm. The butt dials.
There wasn't the I don't know. I forgot how she said it. But
I don't according to the statement.
Yeah.
It was like, yes, you did. You made a phone call. Like, and then she would be kind of start to say she did and then backtrack and say, I don't recall.
Yeah.
In regards to the butt dials to Officer John O'Keefe, there were 7 within 21 minutes. And Alan Jackson went through today how a butt dial happens and how it's like, okay, let's say one accidentally happened. It would ring, it would connect to a voicemail. If the person has one set up, it would leave what typically goes on for like 4 minutes and then the call ends. That would be that. How did it happen over and over and over and over?
Maybe it's a new download.
Yeah, no kidding. Here, let me put that back up a little bit. But did you hear? I was driving, listening to it, and I was freaking out. Like, I'm in my car just like freaking out. Beckham, when Alan Jackson talked about the difference between how you, because she has an iPhone.
Yeah.
iPhone.
Yeah.
In regards to how you make a phone call, how you make a text, you have to pull up the thing. And he's going through it, and she's like, I don't know. I'd have to see my phone.
Dude, I'm telling you, they should start, launching warrants. Because this is just insane.
Here on the iPhone, it's not so easy at all. It was just like, so he's like, Miss McCabe. So I put that a little too high. Do you make phone calls during the day? Do you text during the day? Yes. So then when with an iPhone, you pull it up and you have to hit the text thing. You have to hit the phone. And she's like, I don't know. I'd have to see it. I don't know. I don't remember. It's like, if you can't answer that, how can you answer anything? It was just like, when it got to that, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Who was the owner of the owner of the house? What is
Brian Albert?
The Alberts sold their house for $55,000 less.
Mm-hmm.
Because they sold it so fast. They wanted to get the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm. And that family
owns
that home for generations.
Literally everything points to them, dude. Like seriously, all this circumstantial, all this, I guess you could call it circumstantial, really, really points to them. Like for real.
So let's get to the Alberts. Back up.
Yeah.
So one of the things that it started yesterday and it continued today in regards to, okay, Chloe the dog, a German Shepherd who trained police dog, ex-trained police dog who has who has bitten several people, so has a history of aggression. Never barked. Think about it. The Brian Albert and his wife, homeowners, just Nicole, but they just slept in the house. They didn't know anything was going on outside. You don't mean to tell me a dog wouldn't hear the commotion, hear the sirens, hear this, hear that, and start freaking out. But let's get there. Jen has always maintained that, Karen Reed called, where's John? He didn't come home, showed up at her house. They then went, their thought was, well, instead of going to where I dropped him off, no, Karen, let's go back to John's place where you just left and look for him. Okay, well, that's stupid. Now let's go to 34 Fairview where he was dropped off. It maintains that that's what they did with Kerry Roberts, and then that's where they found John. Today, when it was brought up that she, as in Jen McCabe, called her sister, Nicole Albert, right after Karen Reed called her to say, John didn't come home. I'm coming over, come here, we'll look for him. She called her sister, Nicole, the homeowner, Nicole and Brian Albert. The call went through for 38 seconds. Don't even begin to tell me that's not a warning call of, hey, we're coming over.
Oh, yeah. Right.
She never admitted to that. Of course, had to see the record. Oh, I don't remember. She doesn't remember.
Yeah, because the first time she didn't have to answer that question.
Nope, didn't remember. She didn't remember. She still, I don't remember. I don't remember. It was chaotic.
Because you're not on that. You're not on, the pressure's not on to convict you. She could just be like, whatever, I don't remember. It's been too long, blah, blah, blah. I'm 40, however old she is, years old. I don't remember my memory, right? Whatever. Yeah, I'm telling you, they need to put the pressure on them and then go right into them, dude. They need to really take her to the jail. Tell her to say, look, you committed perjury. This is the proof. And you are wanted for questioning, possibly getting charged.
And the first person to crack, I think, would be Kerry Roberts.
One of them's going to crack. Because if you really threaten them taking their kids away, they're moms. They're not built for that life, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They're not on the law enforcement side or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, Brian Albert was retired ex-cop.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm telling you, these are women with kids and their little family lives. They're going to crack.
So let's keep going with that. So again, now they get to 34 Fairview. They see him outside the house. Jen calls police. There's a body on the lawn. Not my friend, not an active law enforcement officer. And she's like, well, they should respond the same way for everyone. And it's like, you don't say officer down, but all right. And one of the things Jackson said was, Alan Jackson on Cross was like, you realize the severity of he's dying. And she's like, yep. You didn't think, is there anybody nearby that is first aid trained to give first aid? A place for warm blankets. Gee, the lawn that he's on. And she's like, no, it never crossed my mind. Well, it crossed your mind to call your sister when you were headed that way. And then after, she says she walked in the house because the front door was left unlocked, burst into the bedroom where her sister and brother-in-law were sleeping to kind of gently wake them up and say, hey, there's a body on the lawn. John's on the lawn. And she never heard the dog. The dog didn't. What German Shepherd that has a clear aggression problem isn't going to
react. And trained. You're forgetting the trained part.
Yep. And then, okay, you wake them up and you tell them. They still don't go outside. Like, the whole thing doesn't make sense. In the last trial, the Brian Albert and Nicole Albert, the homeowners, said that Jen came in, like, basically, like, scream, like, there's John's dead, John's on the lawn, and you're making a whole loud scene. Today, or yesterday on Cross, she's like, well, I didn't want to startle them and give them a heart attack. So I kind of had to gently say, hey, Our friend's dead on
again,
the.
it's completely changed. Yeah.
There was so many instances. And if you're thinking, well, that's a minor detail, Danny, there was tons of that about important details, phone calls, texts in regards to being questioned by law enforcement.
Everything points. I'm telling you, if this was an initial investigation, if this was going on through the initial investigation at first, guess who would have been taken into questioning? All of them would have.
Mm-hmm.
They all would have, because they're all like, their stories are conflicting. It all points to them. It all points to a cover up, whether it was family cover up or law enforcement cover, whatever you want to deem it, right? It all points to a cover up.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Oh, 100%.
So it's not like yeah, I mean, I get it. Karen would have been taken into questioning too, because she was the one that was, I guess, last seen him or something, or last with him, right?
Yeah, she found, anytime you come across that type of situation.
So they all would have been questioning.
Yeah, they all would have been.
And then I think, had this thing been done the correct way, they would have really, really pinpointed it down to like 2 or 3 people, and guess who those 2 or 3 people would have been?
Yeah.
You know, the ones that are
the stand yet.
Right. You know what I mean? That's where the shift would have gone into this investigation. There would have been a shift into the suspects. I mean, like, wait a minute, this is, we need to concentrate on this group right here.
Mm-hmm. So in regards to the group, good segue.
Yeah.
They talked about on the stand her when, again, because law enforcement came to the McCabe house, instead of bringing them to law enforcement to talk to them one by one individually. Okay. Talk to them at the McCabe house. Kerry Roberts was there. So they're all kind of like, well, we couldn't hear what was being said. We could hear them talking in the other room. Well, that's bullshit. Here's Jen McCabe on the stand saying, I was so upset about what was happening and, blah, blah, blah. But her text chain to her husband, again, who's there too in the other room with her brother-in-law and sister-in-law, the same brother and sister-in-law who owns the house where John O'Keefe was found, are saying Kerry's telling them everything, happy. They're going to believe her. Like, all of this, like, come on, giving a play-by-play. And it's like, so then you could hear everything. If you're saying she's telling you, you could hear enough to know. In regards to, okay, this was more so yesterday. Beckham, I'm not sure if you got a chance to listen to yesterday.
Yesterday was a little bit more. Today, I got into a little bit more today.
Okay. So law enforcement, when everything first happened, they called one of the days, I'm blanking the officer's name, my apologies, called Jen McCabe to say, I need you to do a statement. She said, I'm not ready. Come to my house in 10 minutes. Okay. The police show up. She says, basically, I'm not Jen McCabe, and shoos them away. And then says, well, I thought they were there selling me something. Then when they identify who they are, she has them come in and they say, in the 10 minutes we called you, did you talk to anybody? She said she called 2 people. Her husband, and I think it was her sister. And they said, that's all? And she said, yes. Turns out she contacted 5 people. Oh, no, it was her husband and Kerry Roberts, because she wanted to know if the police had gone to Kerry Roberts as well. She also called her sister. She called Brian Albert. Again, both the homeowners and another person. And then when Alan Jackson pointed that out on cross and was like, you lied. She said, I wouldn't call it a lie. I forgot. And then when he drilled her about it, oh my God, Beckham, you have to hear this. She was just like, I was thrown off guard. To be honest, I dropped my kids off at school and I didn't brush my teeth yet. And he like cut her off. And it's like, what? Law enforcement called to say, we are coming in 10 minutes to interview you. You do all these things that you instantly. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's wild. Wild. Today on the, okay, so the prosecutor.
I still, when I sit there and I think about it, and I cannot believe this thing happened like this. I cannot. They all should have been taken in. All of them.
Good night,
They
Russell.
all
Have
should.
fun.
See you, Russell. They all should have been like taken in and looked at assess all of them. Every single one of those. Even Karen. I mean, rightfully so.
It's
And you would just start eliminating. You would eliminate, right? But
to watch this is so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
it is, because again, that poor guy, man, like, and his family and his nephew and niece.
It's horrific. But one of the things also is that okay, she's one of the prosecution's witness. And I hate to say it, but the main witness, because she's the one is leading the charge. And Karen Reed said, I hit him. And she made sure to throw that in a million times, but can't remember anything else.
Right.
She again, prosecution witness, first got brought on by the prosecution, Hank Brennan, a lot of softball questions. Alan Jackson gets her and does what he does best. Today, she got it back on the stand from Hank Brennan just to kind of wrap things up, which was a huge mistake. Beckham, did you hear when she brought up the federal investigation and said they closed the investigation? I'm just paraphrasing, but they closed the investigation because they believed everything that I told them.
No, but I do know that, what's I gonna say? That my thought. Hold on, I lost my thought. Just keep going. I'm sorry, lost my thought.
It's okay. That's a big deal because both the state and the defense are not supposed to bring up the federal investigation that happened. It's kind of talked about.
They're not supposed to do it, right? She did it,
but she just opened that door.
Right.
Hank Brennan put her back on, and it wasn't like Alan Jackson was interviewing her and tripped her up. This was Hank Brennan. This is his witness. And she's so freaking cocky. And she said, it's closed. They believed everything I said.
I'm sorry. Wasn't there a text message? Yeah, there were text messages saying that, that Karen she's going to do a plea. They got her. It was almost like they were planning, like whatever plan, it made it sound that whatever they planned worked, and that Karen
it was before she was arrested,
right? That Karen would just go into freak out mode and just accept the plea deal and believe.
She should plea, otherwise it's going to open a can of worms for all of us, or something like that.
Something like that, right?
That's interesting that they say that when she wasn't arrested yet,
right?
So how are you having the group text?
How would you know? Pleading? Right? How would you know that, or right? Unless you're plotting.
Unless you knew what was going on because you were in cahoots with Trooper Proctor and all of that.
And you're trying to, you're plotting to ensure that she gets charged.
Yeah.
And throw her mind off to make her believe she did it.
Mm-hmm.
When the evidence didn't even point with the electronic evidence, with the physical evidence, I mean, on the body, the physical evidence at the crime scene, nothing matched to Karen. Nothing. The broken tail light was not there when she, with that, nothing, none of the evidence. And then the nail in the coffin is all of the digital evidence.
Oh, yeah.
Me, right? So nothing points to Karen besides the fact that she drank, she drove a little bit,
and they all drove drunk.
And she doesn't know. She doesn't have a clear mind for that span of time. And that's where they were trying to convince her, this is when you did it, or this is when it happened. I don't know. I think they
did. They are very Karen Reed did it, and friends with the Alberts and the McCabe's, and it's sad. It's horrible.
I wonder how Columbo would have worked this case.
For Christ's sakes. Yeah.
And just one more thing.
Yeah.
How does he say it? He walks out like he's leaving. Wait, he's like, wait, and just one more thing. I don't know what it's saying. It's something like that.
Yeah. So kind of just to wrap this up, Jen McCabe today opened that door for that the FBI was involved. And now you know the defense is going to come in on Monday and be like, open door. We can talk about it now. Of course, Hank Brennan will argue, but I'm sure he's pissed. I'm sure Hank is like, this really backfired. He won't admit it.
Okay, here's a question for you. $1 million question. Do you think Hank Brennan knows that they're colluding? I'm sorry. Do you think he thinks that there's a cover up? Remember, he came in on the side.
He won't ever admit it.
He came in from the aftermath. They brought him in way after. To do this one. He wasn't part of the first one.
Well, yes, she did, and she denied it. Last trial, she said, well, I did delete text because law enforcement said I could and all this. This trial, she's like, no, I didn't delete everything. I willingly handed over my phone. I had nothing to, again, inconsistent than last trial. Beckham, to answer your question.
I guess that's a hard question.
I think, yes. But because I think if you do the math, it ends at that point.
I know. And his job is I get it. This guy he's done everything. He's been on both sides. He's defended the people.
And he was hired to do a job.
And he's hired to do it. I get it. But I just wonder if you were to take him off the record, go for one of those mafia walks. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
take him for a drive and he gets to sit up front and two guys sit in the back seat.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What do you think he would say?
That there was a cover up. And everybody else is,
this isn't even a margin, Danny, this is not even a marginal thing.
I know.
It all points to them, dude, that whole group. It literally does. Now it's like, okay, well, which one of you did it? Like, which one of you physically did it? Like was it like with the candlestick in the den, or with the
what is that? Guess Who or something like that?
Clue, the game Clue.
Clue, that's it. Clue, that's the game.
Now you got to figure out which one actually did it, and or was it more than one? And was it over Karen? Was it literally over like the fact that she was flirting with the other guy? And they got into it or whatever. I don't know, but
yeah, will the McCabe's or the Alberts ever say we covered it up? Never.
Well, but if they get taken in question.
If you do the math, yeah. And I think Hank Brennan is smart, and I would like to think he's smart enough to know this doesn't add up, but I was hired to do a job. And
that's what he's doing, of course.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Earlier in the week, just one of the things that Jen McCabe, when Jackson was asking her questions, and she's, I didn't word it like this, and did all this bullshit, and then she was basically saying, you're arguing over choice of words, and that doesn't matter. And Alan Jackson was like, words matter in this trial. Words matter. Funny coming from the could I have hit him? Did I hit him? Jen, no. She absolutely said I hit him. Well, that's not what you said at the grand jury. But she said, yes, I did. It wasn't recorded. Yes, I told Trooper Proctor it wasn't recorded. Yes, I told Trooper Buchanan it wasn't Bukaki it wasn't recorded. I told that other officer they didn't record. Like, oh my.
Okay, seriously, you can literally make I don't want to turn this into a joke, but with all the number of different suspects and possible weapons, possible house, you really could turn this case into a game of Clue. You just change the names of the characters.
Yeah. Last point, I promise, and then we'll move on. So Dr. Daniel Wolf, he testified in the first trial. He's part of ARCA, the company that the federal government hired for an independent look and at the evidence. And they determined that John O'Keefe was not hit by a vehicle. The injury sustained to him, it was not hit by a vehicle. So Dr. Wolf was brought in.
I think I heard that. I think I heard that one. I was paying attention there.
Yeah, I think I messaged you about that too while I was on vacation. So he was put on the stand for a voir dire. So it was live. We could see it on TV, but it was not in front of the jury. And Hank Brennan was like, it doesn't help the prosecution that this independent expert hired by the government is saying, yeah, this doesn't add up.
Right. I heard that. Yeah,
he's trying to get Dr. Wolf to say like X, Y, and Z, and it wasn't happening. And Hank got very frustrated, and it was showing. And it was hilarious to watch, but it was very unprofessional of Hank. And one of the things that Dr. Wolf kept saying, because Hank Brennan, special prosecutor, was accusing Dr. Wolf of, withholding this and not giving this. And he's like, I was told to give over my reports, and I gave over my reports, my phone records, my this, my that. I gave over everything. And again, Hank Brennan still wasn't a fan of it. And finally, Dr. Wolf, and he said it several times, had the state asked for the report, I would have gladly given it to you guys as well. But you guys never contacted us. Yeah, Hank Brennan wasn't happy. And then Hank the next day was trying to argue to Judge Bev that, like, he was evasive on the stand. He wouldn't answer questions, straight. And, he personally, knowingly deleted information and this and that. I'm thinking, oh, knowingly deleted information. Where did we hear that? Oh, when you willingly got rid of the Sallyport Canton garage video when Trooper Proctor brought the car and you purposely deleted, like, it's one of those, like, cut the shit. But in the end, Judge Bev said, no, I'll allow them to come in. But Hank Brennan, I cannot stand him in this trial. It's bad. Nobody should hire him after this. I hate to say it.
I thought he was older to retire, but he doesn't look retirement age yet.
He's not looking good on this.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you come out really good and sometimes you just don't. So it happens, man, Yeah. But he has covered the spectrum of cases and case workloads and things like that. So he's very experienced. That's why they hired him. And they, I thought the number that they paid him was a little low, but
I agree. But
I mean, in the 80s, my guy got paid $1 million cash money. And he won his case twice.
Well,
like early 80s, he got paid $1 million. But wait, no, I'm sorry. That was the defendant paying him.
Oh, back up.
This is the state paying him, so they're gonna go on the cheaper end. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's.
But I thought he would have got paid more. But how much was he paid? Like 82,000 or 75,000, like up front. I mean, he was given.
Yeah, I think 75.
I think to me but they wasted a lot of money, man. I mean, on the first.
Well, it's gonna be. Think of all the work he's done leading up to this. And
I guess that's a one-time shot. I don't know.
But
I just thought his number was going to be about 120.
So I will say, going off what you said, to give credit where credit is due, he has a very impressive resume of who he has represented throughout his career. So I remember when they hired him, I'm like, oh, geez.
I remember, yeah, because we talked. Yeah, you were like, oh, just hired this guy, and we were started looking at his background. We're like, oh, dude, this dude has been. He's got the experience, man, of working against and for different facets of criminals, different facets of government, and I mean, he's covered the spectrum, right? So we were just like, man, they're bringing in the most experienced guy you could without. Not named Johnny Cochran.
Right. Right. But seeing him do this, it's like I cringe. And I'm like, this is the same guy that represented Whitey Bulger. This is
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm like, Karen Reed needs to be acquitted based on the definition of law, guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There's a lot of reasonable doubt. But
Dude, just there's already doubt. I mean, it does. She's home. She's home free. It's done.
So
With the expert coming in and saying about the body didn't match the crime or whatever, that guy.
that was
And then
on voir dire. I
and
mean, it was
then
said last trial. It will be,
and
he's coming
yeah,
on,
but
but he'll be coming on.
that guy coming in this week, and then just this girl today. I'm sorry, the last 3 or 4 days, just all over the place. Not just it's all there, man. It's all there, and they haven't even gotten, like you said, they haven't even gotten to the heavy hitters yet.
No.
Just wait till the heavy hitters come. Or wait, I'm sorry, just wait. Yeah, till they bring in the other people.
They need to bring in the homeowners: Brian Albert, Julie Albert, Brian Higgins,
and there's really going to be reasonable doubt. Like after that, I mean, I think they have enough right now where the jury would be like, it's done, but they have to finish the thing out.
Yeah. And then it begs the question. Somebody asked me while I was on vacation.
Yeah.
What if it ends in a mistrial? Are they going to go for round 3?
Oh no, hell no, it's done.
I said I think they would. I think the state is that stupid.
They're dumb.
That they're just going to fall on this sword.
The group better hope they go for a round 3, because they remember how the defense even announced 3 suspects. I didn't even know you could do that, but I guess you can. Remember, I'm not a lawyer, so but
hey, William Eddy.
But yeah, that was crazy that they even opened that for a what do you call it? They even opened the floor for that to approach with 3. I think it was 3 suspects, right?
Yeah. Colin Albert, Brian Albert.
Exactly. They even put that on the record, man. That's on the record that they even came out with 3 suspects on their own, their own, what makes sense to the investigation.
And I'm glad you said that, because again, it's the state's burden. It's the prosecution's burden to prove that Karen Read is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not on the defense. It is not on the defense. But
Watson, 3 rounds with Karen Read, sigh.
Oh my God,
he hopes for another round.
I know, he loves her. But the defense is putting a lot, like they are doing their job. Beck, I told Liz, if God forbid something ever happens and I'm arrested for a crime, I want Alan Jackson, David Giannetti, and Miss Little, Attorney Little, and Alessi. All 4, hire them to represent me. I'll pay the bill at some point. Just hire them to represent me. On that note, let's go from one type of woman to the other. Lori Vallow.
Oh God, she's gonna get another trial or something.
Well, while I was away, and I did post a little video.
I think the day you left, they announced she was guilty.
So she was found guilty, conspiracy to commit murder of her husband, Charles Vallow. She does have one more trial in regards to, allegedly hiring someone for her to kill her niece's husband. So that trial will be happening in a few weeks. The update that I have, though, is, Beckham, I should have sent you the link. There is a link. Here, let me post it in the chat. Y'all obviously don't leave right now and go watch it, but it's an interview that a reporter did with Lori Vallow after, it's like days after the guilty verdict. To say she's so delusional and out there is an understatement. I think the video, it's like just under a half hour. It is worth the whole listen, I assure you. The interviewer is Brianna Whitney. So the few notes that I took from this was that Lori kept saying that she was, quote, precluded, end quote, from bringing out in court representing herself that Tylee was dead, even though there was video of Tylee being shown. She kept using the word precluded, basically that she wasn't allowed to say X, Y, and Z while she was representing herself. She was saying that the judicial system did not let her have her own defense. And in regards to the jury, she says Lori didn't feel it was her job to convince them that she didn't do it. It was her job to just go up there and tell the story. In regards to Lori seeing Tylee, her daughter, on the video, because again, the jury, one of the things that the jury had reported after the verdict was they didn't know that the kids were dead until after, and that was very upsetting to them.
Oh man, that's so
And
bad, dude. Yeah.
Lori, responding to that, goes, well, I know she's in heaven and I know what she's doing. I know what happened with her and Charles, and Tylee killed herself. So basically, that telling detectives that, yeah, that this is all, Tylee put this in motion because Tylee killed herself. Anybody who knows this trial and knows this evidence know that child good and damn well did not kill herself. Look how she was brutally murdered. Look how her body was treated. Like, are you, like, seriously? Seriously. Anyway, when detectives said to Lori, basically, no, you know Tylee did not kill herself. Lori's response is, well, they weren't there. They weren't there. Oh, so okay, Lori, you were there when that happened. Like, come on. Okay, Wolf is saying, oh yeah, I saw that. It's so weird. It's like the verdict didn't even register or something. Delusional, good word. Yeah, Wolf, absolutely. It's in regards to, she brought up her husband, who, Beckham?
Chad Daybell.
Thank you. Lori was saying that Tylee was pushing Chad's buttons and getting in fights with Chad. So Lori would have to leave and stay at a hotel with Tylee because of that. Again, putting Tylee as the bad one. Lori said she was precluded from telling a lot of things in court and that she was not allowed to put on a defense. She said she was wrongly convicted in 4 deaths. She wouldn't put into words what happened. So the reporter was just like, then tell us what happened. If you were wrongly convicted for 4 deaths, you've gone through multiple trials, you're going on for another, tell us what happened. She said, well, I was there and I'm going to save that for my next trial. What? Like, I can't.
The judge was like, do you want sentencing done now, or do you want to wait till the next trial? And she said the next trial. It's like, all right.
The green chili enchiladas were brought up because, again, when her brother was on the stand, she made a big point to talk about specifics like that. She talked about seeing her because they'd been estranged. They had not spoken in a long time because, again, Adam basically got kicked out of the family because he believed that his sister Lori and brother Alex Cox were responsible for Charles Vallow's death, which, again, was convicted that she was. Lori said in regards to seeing her brother Adam in court, she's still processing it. She didn't really register it because she was in attorney mode. And she goes on to say, we're not estranged right now. Yes, girl, you are. You were and you are. He testified against you. Against you. Okay. In regards to, do you remember that clip, Beckham, I sent you when that girl, I'm blanking her name, my apologies. The girl was on the stand, the woman was on the stand, and Lori was like, well, you talked about me, right? You talked about me. And
The waitress.
Yeah. So in regards to Charles dating other women, Lori told the reporter, it didn't bother her. It just, quote, surprised her, end quote. In regards to the reporter saying, well, you were having an affair with Chad Daybell, she says, it wasn't an affair. He was my best friend. And she's like, wait a minute. So he's your best friend and you marry him 3 weeks later after your husband is killed and her husband is killed. And she is fallen on that sword. Yes, he was my best friend. The storm. The power of the storm. I don't know. I didn't hear the storm get brought up, which was actually very disappointing, to be perfectly
honest. The whole
time. This Daybell woman doesn't seem ready for a long prison stint. Oh my God. Okay. Tony Stewart, thank you for saying that. Because one of the notes I had was that Lori in the interview, y'all watch it. It's just under half hour. I'd say watch and listen to it because you want to see her mannerisms. But if you only just want to put it on in the background while you're like cleaning and doing dishes, whatever, do that too. She laughs a lot. Like you would think she's having like a conversation with a girlfriend. Like, oh my God, guess what happened this week? Ha ha. Like that's what it was. And I'm thinking, you were just convicted. And she's like, oh, I haven't slept this good in so long. And, I had to get up because I knew you were coming for an interview, but I really wanted to sleep in today. Well, you're in jail. Like, it was just so beyond out of touch. The other couple of notes I had, the prosecution, Lori saying that they made up this whole entire story. Again, she's saying they weren't there. When with Chad, she said, okay, when she talked about her relationship with Chad, she was talking about spiritually they were connected because they both had near-death experiences. So they could talk about it with each other, and they couldn't talk about it with anybody else because nobody else understood. Again, we all know
I cannot wait till she just goes away. And
she's never going to go away.
Her
and Alex Murdaugh will never go away. They should just end up together and just go somewhere. They will never go away.
They need to go to prison for life.
One of the things that the reporter says is when Charles was dying, why did you wait 47 minutes to call police? She says, quote, it was Alex's responsibility to call. It was just her responsibility to get the kids out of the house. Alex loved Charles. Alex was probably freaked out. Putting the blame on him. Your husband's dying. Oh, well, it was his responsibility. She does not regret representing herself in trial.
Tony, she's going to go for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Two last notes on this. Oh, it was a painful interview to listen to, but you guys listen to it. Lori, again, she has a trial in a few weeks, another trial. She's getting ready for that. She says, quote, this will have zero effect on me in eternity, end quote. And Beckham, who does this remind you of? Lori said it is now her job to help other women in jail to stand up for themselves and be courageous.
I sent you a funny video about that.
You sent me a lot of stuff.
No, it was, what's her name? Casey Anthony. I sent you the video where this guy's he's dating Casey Anthony, and he takes her to his friend's house for dinner, and the couple freaks out that, oh my God, it's Casey Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really good skit, by the way. These amateur actors, pretty good.
Yeah. No, you're right. And you were spot on. It's funny how Lori is now there to help others. Casey Anthony is there to help others. I know Jodi Arias is still in jail, but on trial, she was, I'm here to help women of domestic violence. It's just like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Stop the madness.
Let's see. Tony Stewart.
They honestly didn't make an example out of this Valo.
I feel like regardless of the example, she's so I hate to call someone delusional because that's so mean, but that's only the only word I can think of because reality is not processing at all. It's as though both, yeah. See, I can't even say it. It's as if Lori likes prison so far. She's
calm down, Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wanna?
Again, let me star that. Y'all go back after the show tomorrow, whatever works. Watch the interview. Let me start. Why are you not letting me start? It is worth a listen. I assure you, it is worth a listen. So, a couple other quick things. Again, I'm very much out of the loop in regards to stuff for being away. Luigi Mangione, his defense team is seeking to dismiss the New York State indictment against him. They filed a motion yesterday. His defense attorneys say that put in a notice to the New York Supreme Court that the state indictment against him should be dismissed because of, quote, concurrent state and federal prosecutions violate the double jeopardy clause, end quote, of the Fifth Amendment. Nice try. I don't think that's going to necessarily work. His legal team also cites the 14th Amendment's due process clause and the constitutional right against self-incrimination. They argue that the indictment's 2 terrorism-related counts should be dismissed because the grand jury evidence did not meet the requirement. Additionally, they're asking the court to suppress evidence seized during the arrest because they allege a warrantless search of his backpack was conducted. I'm not surprised all of these things are being filed, all these different indictments, and should be dismissed. I don't think any of them will be dismissed. I don't know. What about you, Beckham?
No.
Yeah. I think his defense is doing their job. It is their job to try to get this done before trial. I don't think that's going to happen, though. So we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of that with him. We will see. You know what's supposed to start soon, Beckham? Diddy.
Yeah.
That was the most unenthusiastic response I've ever heard from you.
No, that's I just want to give a shout out to a buddy of mine that I went to high school with, played baseball with, high school and a little bit into after college. He passed away. I found out he passed away last week. So, and the reason I'm bringing him up is because remember the story that I told about doing the Diddy dance to Biggie at the club, and
was that
I
him?
knocked. He's the one that I saw the video at his house, and he's the one that said, "Look at that dance, ha ha ha!" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it at the club." Yeah, he was, and then I told my friend who got the drink spilled on him at the club about it, and they knew each other. So, yeah, so unfortunately, a good friend of mine passed away last week, and I just found out a couple of days ago. So, just in relation to the whole thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
I off air, we didn't discuss this. I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry for the loss of your friend and for your group's friend and your friend's family. I know.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's just that it just kind of put a little thing on the Diddy thing. So
yeah, no, this is life, and life is full of shit moments, and this is to put it like that. This is one of those. That's horrible. And I mean, I know I always joke like you're old, and which you are, but no, but if your friend is around your age, that's young.
Oh yeah, right. So it was one of those things that just happened unexpectedly and unfortunately. So anyway, as far as the case goes, again, I don't know whether to feel good about it or not, but the government has been really quiet, like really quiet about everything.
That's a good thing.
So you've heard a little bit here and there in the last month. I think the latest thing was like Diddy just declined an offer on the table, maybe I don't know if that was this week or last week. So yeah, it's gonna move forward and it's gonna start in like next week or in the week after.
Yeah, I believe it's next week.
Next week, yeah.
So
opening statements is gonna be a big thing. Again, it's gonna be a thing to watch for sure because everybody wants the thing that they want to know what kind of evidence they have, right? They want to know of course what happened.
Will this be televised? Will this be televised?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying what people want to hear at least.
Right.
And the people affiliated, like all the names of people, right? Like I think the last time we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Gloria Estefan was mentioned in there, but more her husband or whatever.
Because there was a party at their home,
right? So you had never heard about them before, way before on this case. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and that's what people want to see: who's affiliated, what names will be brought up, what's the stories, and things like that. Because when they do start presenting this case, it's going to come out.
Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts, Red Handed, Hannah and Suruti, they this week put out an episode covering P. Diddy. Part 1, part 2 will be out next week. This week's episode, it's about an hour and a half. They are so good. They're honestly one of my favorite true crime podcasts. I've seen them live when they came here. They're based out of UK. Give it a listen. Give part 1 a listen, and then next week when part 2 drops, give that a listen. It's a really good kind of refresher of summing everything up. They're such good researchers, honestly. So give that a listen if that's something y'all want to do before the trial. I'm gonna heart this star at Kane. Kane says, "Sorry to hear that, Beckham."
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, we will keep you posted on Diddy. You know, Beckham, I
guess that starts on Monday, the 5th. Because you know what we know what Sunday is, right?
The 4th, that wouldn't make sense because the 5th, because it's the day after the 4th. Let me see.
Yeah, what's Sunday? Say it, Danny. Say it.
Oh, that's what you were getting at in the chat.
Say it.
May 4th. Okay. The trial will not be televised. The trial begins May 5th, so Monday.
Oh God! Can you handle
it starts
Diddy?
with jury selection.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Jury
but
selection.
still, it's gonna be talked about. Are you gonna be able to handle? Are you gonna be able to handle Diddy and Reed at the same time?
No, I can't. But with that being said, if Diddy's trial isn't live, then we just have to wait till like the recaps at the end.
The recaps at the end, right? Yep.
So.
And social media. Oh my God! This is what they heard. This is what they found.
Yeah. No. Okay. I know we're in a generation of, I go to Wikipedia for news sources. No, don't go to Wikipedia for news sources. Nowadays, I got my news from TikTok. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Who was Epstein? Wait, who was Epstein?
She was Epstein's.
Who was?
Virginia Giuffre. She allegedly killed herself. One of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. Yeah, that happened.
Well, that's James. That's what people want. They want to know the names. That's what everybody wants to know.
I agree, because she also, from what I read, and I didn't deep dive into this, so take this with that in mind, that she made a post saying, if anything happens to me, like, I did not kill myself. And then it came out that she killed herself. So I was like, again, I didn't deep dive research it. But I was like, wait, what? Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird. I heard Diddy was going to start naming people who attended his parties. Okay, James, there's a difference between, I'm not arguing at you, difference between saying these people were at my parties and these people were at my parties involved in the freak-offs or were aware of the freak-off. So that's two different things. We all know who was at his parties. There's pictures. It's who was involved in
with the after party, I guess. I don't know how you want to say it.
Diddy won't be publicized. Bummer. I know. That would be one where it's like, ugh. What's okay. I don't want to say it's funny because that's not the right word to say. But I was, of course, at work today, right? So I'm catching up from being out and all that stuff. And one of my coworkers who I've become friends with, she was just like, hey, I don't really know what's going on with the KRME trial. Can you update me? And I'm like,
that's a lot to do.
Girl!
You can't.
So I did my best.
Yeah, oh my, how did you do it?
As I'm like doing paperwork and
typing. No, but how did you okay, this
I don't know. It was
hard. A couple, how would you even start?
I summed it up and then I'm like, oh, one more thing. And one more thing.
Yeah.
And one more thing.
Like how?
I know.
I would have wanted to hear the damn thing myself because I would have been like, Danny, how the hell are you gonna spin this, dude?
And then my boss was like, I think she did it.
I honestly think it would take 3 work lunches, like 3 hours. 3 different work lunches to explain everything. You got to break it down into parts.
I was like, here's this, research this. Here's this.
And I'm not not happy hours, because happy hours you start drinking and then you start going at a different tangents. I think
Mhm.
work lunches, where you're actually like eating and you're
Yeah.
drinking like water or something, then you could break it down. But I think it would take 3 work lunches for you to get it done properly.
Yeah, that was like, oh my God, how do I do this? So, but yeah,
You're like, what did you say? You're doing paperwork while you're doing it?
yeah, I'm like trying to catch up on this and type
That's
emails
that's
and
that's funny.
I'm a good multitasker, but I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, my boss was like, I think she did it. And I'm like, all right. But we agreed that, again, guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and the where the state and those involved didn't handle it properly. But it was just like, and I said to my boss, I was like, I know I just got back from vacation. We'll look at the calendar. We'll pick a day, whatever works for you, because I need to use another vacation day and I need to go stand outside Norfolk District Court. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, I told you I was going to do this. But it has to be a day where there's going to be court. You know how sometimes they're like, oh, no court tomorrow? Like, that does me no good. But yeah, Beckham, I know last time when I did that last year, that was the day that Colin Albert took the stand. He was the son of Brian and Julie Albert, the one that,
I hadn't got into it yet.
Right. But now you are. So that's that.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
McBride. That's or whatever her name is.
McAlbert.
McAlbert.
Oh my God. Sorry. McCabe or Albert?
McCabe. Sorry. And one more thing, Miss McCabe. Dude, when they ended it today, she looked so worn out, dude.
Yeah.
She looks so like out of it.
Yep. Yeah. Alan Jackson did not hold back. At first I was like, because she was so reserved, unlike last trial, I was like, and Alan Jackson was Alan Jackson. He's a pit bull. And I was afraid that I'm like, oh, like for people who don't know, she's full of shit. How is the jury going to look at this? Like, are they going to be like, oh my God, he's attacking her? But like, I think definitely after today, it shows what he was leading up to, like all of her inconsistencies and like,
right.
And then he's like, so you lied. I wouldn't call it a lie.
I think it's almost like she really wanted to say, look, mister, I'm not the one on trial here.
No, what she wanted to say is like, I'm trying to cover for my family who committed the crime. Let me off the stand and like let me go brush my teeth. I can't believe she said that. That was one of her excuses. Oh my God, they just showed up and I didn't brush my teeth.
No, it's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah.
God. Last quick thing of tonight. Beckham's guy, Scott Peterson.
Oh, he's in the news again? I didn't even see that.
Every headline was Scott Peterson, shocking claim. So what has come out now is the Los Angeles Innocence Project has filed a petition to overturn his conviction, citing new evidence and witnesses who support his innocence. They are saying that medical research has advanced since Scott Peterson's conviction. And according to them, it now indicates that Connor, which was Lacey's unborn baby, the fetal growth of Connor was consistent with a date of death later than what prosecutors presented at trial. So prosecutors maintain that Connor was basically a coffin birth. Lacey was killed, disposed in the ocean, and then Connor, she gave coffin birth, and Connor, the word I found was dispelled from Lacey's body, and baby washed ashore, Connor washed ashore, Lacey washed ashore, and that's how they were both found. But the prosecutors, again, they maintain that Lacey was thrown overboard, baby still intact, and that's when the remains were recovered. But the attorneys for Scott are saying his fetal growth was consistent with the date of death later than what prosecutors presented trial. And the reason that, if you're saying, well, what does that mean? That his attorneys are kind of arguing, see, if she was killed after Christmas Eve, he was already in the spotlight and couldn't have done it.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I think it's a reach.
the only thing they're gonna have a chance is some kind of DNA or something, but I don't know anymore with that one.
You're saying
that one had a surge last year because of the whole thing, right? So
yeah, the LA Innocence Project
yes.
taking on,
Right.
not the Innocence Project, the LA Innocence.
Right.
Big difference. Big difference. So I let's see it. Let's see it, but I don't agree. I don't agree. I think they're just they're just trying to help Peterson. I think the jury, the first trial, got it right. That's all I got.
And law enforcement agrees with you. I mean, they all. Yes. There's no like, you know, they investigated it correctly. They feel they did, and everything like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So again, if there's any more update to that, I'll let you know. It was just like a very brief. When you search it, it's like a very brief headline.
Man, in the last year, we've had docu-series series on that him. We've had one on Karen Reed. Of course, their cases are there, but you know, we've had one on Jean Bonnet. Yep. We've had one on OJ, a new one on OJ.
Mm-hmm. The Menendez brothers.
Them, yeah. That's 5. God, who else? I mean, you want to throw in Manson? You want to throw Manson in there? I mean, you can, I guess, but
I
mean, I'm talking about like kind of current, not like that's a long time ago, but 5 or 6, man, like within like a year. That's a lot. I know Jean Bonnet was like in November. Reed's what, like January, like before the case started. And then what's his name's came out like in October. Yeah, so there's like 5 or 6 in a year span, which is a lot to me. That's a lot of docuseries.
Because those are big name.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of them. And then also maybe with the that Northeast serial killer. I mean, not the serial killer with the women. I think they did one on him too.
Oh, Rex Heuermann, the Gilgo Beach.
Yeah, I think one of them came out on him too. So I think that's the number. I think that's 6.
James Watson gave you a star. Yeah, I will.
That's a lot in a year, Danny.
No, I agree, and I like the only thing I can think of is like, and it's horrible because like, I almost wish like we lived in a world where we didn't have to talk about true crime and this type of thing didn't happen.
Oh,
but no, and I know that's, you know, it's haha, but that's the world we live in, and people nowadays versus 10, 15, 20 plus years ago consume true crime on a very, very differently. Again, when I was growing up being into true crime, that was rare. I didn't have anybody else to talk to about it. Like, you just...
The moment Abel stabbed Cain in the back was the moment it started.
Oh, God. And then Netflix came along and made it easy for everybody to now get into true crime.
Speaking of true crime, real quick, do we have... Has the book of the month won yet?
Oh, good point. So no.
Damn it. When are you gonna call it? What's the score?
Let me pull it up. So book club. So for those of you who
it would be fun to have like at least like 4 you know, a panel of 4 or something. That'd be fun.
I mean, anybody's welcome on camera.
Well, I know, but or even not on. You don't have to be on camera. You can be off camera, right?
Yeah, people can be on, like, you know, just on avatar. Like,
if we had like 5 or 6, that'd be fun. But you know,
yeah, Zach from Camp LSSC Productions has been awesome and has been on with me twice so far. again, that's great. The more the better, but it's again what everybody's comfortable with. Some people might just want to be in the chat and partake in it. Some might just want to watch it on replay, or some maybe just want to read it and just be a part of that. But yeah, anybody, again, welcome on camera. Or if you don't want to physically be on camera like us, you can kind of do, wait, where's the stop cam like that, where you have an avatar so that no one sees
Danny,
you.
do you know there was an investigation into the assassination or murder of Julius Caesar?
I have not studied that, Beckham.
That would be interesting. That could have been the first true crime case.
So you know what? I'm not sure I'd find a lot of documents on that. A lot of original documents, I should say. All right. So I did. Wait, that was last month.
Oh, that's funny.
May's book club. Okay, here we go. So I did the post.
What's the score? What's the score?
Let me say my whole sentence, Beckham. Calm down. I love true crime. Does that mean I'm a weirdo? No, Tony, you're a weirdo for other reasons, but not because you like true crime. Yeah, Zach, absolutely.
Called you out, Tony.
Cat is moving. Which cat is that? Luke or Selena? They make a killing at Caesar's Palace every night. I didn't get to Caesar's while I was in Vegas.
Funny, Capone. That's funny.
Right near there, but didn't get there. All right. So book club for May. I posted it in the Danny After Dark Facebook group. I also posted something on Instagram. If you are not on social media, just let me know. Let me know your vote if you want to vote. So the deadline to vote is May 7th. So there's 5 options, and I will go in order. One is A Man of Honor, the autobiography of Joseph Bonanno by Joseph Bonanno. Second option, Conviction, the untold story of putting Jodi Arias behind bars by Juan Martinez. 3, The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom by Sherry Frankie. 4, Shattered Innocence, the story of J.C. Lee Dugard by Robert Scott. Dugard. And then 5th, Long Haul, Hunting the Highway Serial Killers by Frank Figliozzi.
Let's dance with that one, guys. Everybody go pick that one.
Beckham. So what I have done is I have a document where y'all have been making suggestions, and I've been keeping that in there. So I really want to keep this you guys' recommendation. So if you're like, wait a minute, wasn't that an option a couple months ago? I'm trying to rotate what's in that document. And then if there's something that pops up where I'm like, hey, maybe people would be interested in this book that I'm interested in, I'll throw that in there. But for the most part, I want to go by what you guys and gals are suggesting. In the lead right now is Long Haul, Hunting the Highway Serial Killers.
We got the lead. What's the score?
I said as of now, based on votes in the Facebook group. I know I have a couple of emails and Instagram messages of people voting. So I put that all together.
That's going to be a guy.
Not everybody's on social media. Honestly, you're a better person if you're not on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. I'm not on Twitter.
It's a very interesting topic. So it would be an interesting chat.
So, again, you don't have to be on camera if you're like, oh, well, I want to vote, but I don't want to be on camera, or I want to vote, but I don't like being in chats. That's okay. That's okay. Still
and if you have opinions on the subject, just come on. You don't have to.
I don't vote in these.
If you don't have time to read the entire book, but you have an opinion on it, you want to talk about it, just still come on.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's like, hey, I read the first half
and you get too busy or something, just still come on or something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an opinion about it, come on and talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So again, vote by May 7th, and I will then put out what the book is so that people can have time to either purchase it, or a lot of people do audiobooks, download it or whatnot, and we'll go from there. And again, if you have suggestions for future book clubs, leave a comment on in the Facebook group, or DM me on Instagram, send me an email, thedannyafterdark@gmail.com, and I will absolutely add it to the document. So Beckham has already made his vote and opinion very clear. You do not have to let him influence you.
Come on, guys. Let's get the win.
Don't be fooled or captivated by his horrible Australian accent that he does when Karen Diamond is in the chat.
We're in the home stretch. Let's get it done. Let's get the votes in.
You know what's funny? Beckham's all like, yeah, vote for my book. He won't be on camera. He'll be like, oh, is that tonight? Sorry, I'm watching the football game or whatever.
Hey, it's not football season yet. Calm down, Danny.
Sure, if you say so.
It's Star Wars weekend, though. And with that, may the Force be with you.
The Force wasn't with his internet connection. Looks like he got bounced. No, I'm just kidding. God, Beckham, I don't even know. Talking about the score, I couldn't believe the Lakers are done already. Okay, I guess. I don't know. Can you do the 4th Harry Potter book for book club? Lots of murder, though. Cute. I've never read the Harry Potter books. I don't intend to read the Harry Potter
books.
I'm
gonna just, hey, everybody, if I reach out to you on Sunday, it's because I want to know what day it is today. You got to say it. Danny will be like, Danny, what's today?
I have a question. Are you watching The Revenge of the Sith, Beckham, in the theater?
No, today was the last day. I didn't get to make it out to it.
Oh,
I think today's the last day for it, or this weekend. I'm not sure.
All right. Let me try and think. Is there anything else? I don't think so, except if you are not following the Paulcast channel on Instagram, do so, or just head on over there, or the Manson Saga discussion panel Facebook group. I posted a video. I did like a 5 to 9 second video while I was at the Grand Canyon. I'm like, who the fuck is Paulcast?
What did it say? It said something else. It translated to something else.
Yeah, the word translate. I didn't.
I was like, what was that, Danny? I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was cute and funny, but yeah, so I posted that.
Something like, does Paul want grapes? So what the fuck? I don't know what it said.
Beats me, Tony Stewart. I'm going to give you a star for that. I'm going to give you a star for that. So anyway, that's that for tonight. Thank you everybody for joining. Again, next week I will do a recap of my trip and kind of more focus it on the mob museum that I went to and met up with Capone there, which was amazing. Next Friday night will be the True Crime and Chill from a very cool location.
I have an announcement.
Oh God.
Star Wars Celebration is going to Los Angeles in 2027. I cannot wait for that. I am so excited.
So when you're going to go?
Yeah.
What is the Star Wars Celebration?
I'm going to make my whole world around it. Like, I'm going to go to this thing because I told myself I wanted to make one. I've never been able to go because they get sold out so fast. Right?
Does it travel or is it always there?
No, the last one was just in Japan, just a month, like last month.
Oh.
So that's where you can meet people, meet all the fans, people dress up, you get a bunch of merch. I probably would spend about $1,000 on merch. I don't know.
I believe that. 2027.
Yeah, 2027.
Where's
so
2026?
Man, there's a lot happening in Los Angeles, man. That you got. I'm not. This is a big thing. It's a big deal. So they got Star Wars Celebration going in 2027, and then they have the Olympics in 2028. Did you know that the Olympics is going to Los Angeles?
No, I didn't know that.
And they're also going to be hosting the World Cup stuff. So lots going on in LA for like next couple of years. Imagine CrimeCon. Add CrimeCon to the list.
Wait, where? I know that's like low with ranking for you. Wait, where is 2026 going to be?
I don't know if it's. I think it's every other year. It might not be.
Oh, okay.
And you said it's LA next year. Yeah, it's LA.
You should let. I was gonna say you should message Liz and tell her. She's my friend. I can message Liz and tell her. She's into Star Wars and Star Trek. But all right, well, everybody who's in that area, or hey, in advance, if you want to meet,
hey, you never know. CrimeCon could be announced later this year.
Well, it will
going to
be
Los
announced later this
Angeles.
year as
Huh?
to where it would be. I don't know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It could be announced. Los Angeles 2026, 2027. We don't know. 2028. Just
Hmm.
saying. I don't know. I don't think they would. I don't think LA wants anything in 2028 because they're going to need to get ready for the Olympics.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I think you'd have 2-year window to make it in LA. Do you
Okay.
know if it was ever in LA? And if so, when was the last time it was there?
I don't think it was ever in LA.
Hmm.
No. Crime Con LA could just take place on the street. Oh, James. All right. So for anybody that wants to meet Mr. Beckham, you have a 2-year
You
advance
can get
notice.
ready. Get your money ready. Get it saved. Let's go have an out of world experience. Out of this world experience.
But bum. All right.
Danny, what's this week? What's on Sunday?
I'm just gonna kick you off. It's fine. All right, everybody.
Wait,
Thank you.
one more thing. I'm gonna be on James's channel on Sunday talking Star Wars.
Oh, James.
Yeah.
James, Winston, Ono, Lennon, Sinatra. Yep. Yes, James. Oh my God, love James. Everybody head over there for Sunday.
If you want to talk Star Wars and hang out, I'll be over there on Sunday for a couple hours, just chit chatting about Star Wars. I'm sure Danny will drop in.
I got dance on Sundays. Busy on Sundays. Just one more thing. I know, Tony.
Just one more thing.
I can't. All right. Well, thank you for letting us know. I'll message James and say that we gave it a shout out to Miss Piggy. Yeah.
Yes, I think she's gonna make an appearance. I believe so.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
I'm sure she's gonna make an appearance.
Oh gosh. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Chill with a Little Bit of True Crime. Thank you, Beckham, for being here as always. And yeah, I will see y'all next week. Get in your book club vote by May 7th. Don't let Beckham pressure you and vote for whatever you want.
Hey guys, we're right there. The last leg of this thing. Let's make it happen. Let's have a good, fun book read and have like a 6-people panel up here next when it's all said and done.
If I find out by somebody, they're like, "Hey, Beckham, just Venmo'd me $100 to be on your show," I'll be like, "Seriously?" And to vote, like all these people come forward. Like I was just given $20 to vote for a book. What is this about? I'm just kidding, but I wouldn't be surprised. All right, everybody. I will see you next week. Thank you, Beckham, again. And reminder, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.